All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Looks like we've got Mike High, we've got Floridian, Milkman, Dennis Becker, Guy Comet. That's who we've got so far, and I'll catch the other ones that are coming in. So, how is everyone doing this evening? Can you see and hear me well and all that? Pistol Pete. All right, we've got some goodies to talk about, and if y'all have any questions, definitely ask away. Hello, A-Dubs. How are you? We'll let this get going here just a second. And I've got a shout out for somebody. But we'll get to that in a minute. Hello, Bagger Bro. Yep, in the good old hotel here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right. Hello, Gary. How are you? Hey, Ray Cole. Good to see you, man. It's been a long time. TTO Clarke. All right. All right. Yeah, I did want to. Yes, I'm already going to talk about that pistol, Pete. He brought it up, but I had it actually written down here. Everyone, please go and leave your comments for the ATF for the receivers, not only the receivers, but also for the pistol braces. Pistol braces, of course, we still have a little bit longer on the comments there, but please go over and leave them. There's tons of links on YouTube. If you say you can't find it, you can even go to the ATF website, and it's actually on there. So go in and leave a gracious comment. You can, or not gracious, I'm sorry, a non-cussing comment, because they will instantly delete it. Just get your point across, make it precise, leave your information. I did. As a matter of fact, I've left, I don't even know how many comments on the receivers. I've left, I don't know how many comments on the braces. So you can leave one or more than one comment. So please go over and do that. Hello, Keenan. How are you, man? So definitely we want to do that. While they take or try to take our guns and stuff away from us here, we just give them away over there. So, we give them to the enemies, but we want to disarm good American law-abiding citizens. Doesn't make any damn sense, but whatever. Anyway, and again, if y'all have any questions or comments, but I do want to give a shout out to Jason. I was checking into the hotel the other day, I guess Monday night or Monday late afternoon. And I was checking in, and he keeps looking at me, and he goes, "I know you from somewhere." And I was like, "Sorry, I don't know you." And he's like, "Are you Big Johnson?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I watch your videos." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So anyway, I want to give Jason a shout out. I thought that was pretty neat. So this is the one time I was recognized in Oklahoma City, and I've been recognized in Tulsa now. So I thought that was pretty neat. But anyway, all right. Richard is asking, any suggestions on an optic for an AR9 auto shut off and turn on with movement? Well, what I've got on my AR9 is I've got the SIG Romeo 5, and it's got the Moab or the Shake Awake technology. You could do a Hollow Sun also, depends on what you're wanting and the price that you want to pay, of course. But I haven't had any issues with it. I'm not saying it's my ultimate favorite. I bought them a long time ago. I think I bought 4 or 5 of them when they were on sale for like, God, 90 something dollars. And I haven't had any issues with them. You do have a smaller viewing window, but they seem to work great. And I know that a bunch of people have torture tested them and not had them fail. So, I mean, I'm happy with them. They seem to work pretty well. Depends on the price point that you're wanting to get at, but I wanted to try to get the Shake Awake technology myself, and that's what I went with at that time. Would I go and buy a whole bunch of them now for like $145? Probably not, but there's an option there. Hello, Kathleen. How are you? Let's see. Exactly, Pistol Pete. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, billions of dollars we just gave away all of our technology. So therefore, and that China, Russia, everybody's going to see that. Taliban's going to invite them right over to check it all out. So anything that we thought was a secret, it's not going to be now. But, I digress. Trust me, I'm definitely not happy about it. Yes, I have. I have definitely. No, I mean not in person, but of course on the news and stuff like that. Um, oh, hang on. The question flew by. What if you were buying one today? If I were buying one today, I would get a larger window, and if it's an AR-9, pistol, rifle, whatever. Um, I will say this: I would get if you want an enclosed emitter, I would get the HoloSun 512. I don't work for HoloSun, but I've had great luck with all of their products. I would get the HoloSun 512 if you want a closed emitter. If you want an open emitter, you could get the HoloSun 510 C. And the reason being is they have a huge viewing window. So when you're looking through them, you don't get that tube effect. It's actually big, kind of like looking through an EOTech. So when you go up and look through it, you actually see, all of your surroundings also. And it depends on what you're going to use it for. If you're going to use it for just playing around, that's going to give you quicker target acquisition. If you're going to use it for home defense, the same. You can look at your surroundings through it better. You're just not going to get that tunnel effect. So there you go. Hello, CZ Shadow 2. How are you? That's funny you just said that, A-dubs. That is exactly the first thing I said. Is I said, okay, 200 for you, 200 for you, 200 for you. If not, you go straight to jail. You go straight to jail. You go straight to jail. That's exactly what I was saying. Um, we could have taken more planes over there, loaded that stuff up, brought it back. The stuff that was old that we didn't use, we've got C4, we've got thermal grenades, we've got all of this stuff. We could have blown that shit up. That's over $1 billion. I mean, billions of dollars over there that we just gave to them. And, night vision, drones, everything. I just don't get it. But I guess if we had people that could plan better, that probably would have been taken care of. Yes, I did see that. Taliban's going around and picking up weapons saying that we'll protect you. Seriously? And see, I mean, think about, Austria and all this other stuff. That's the first thing they do is disarm the people. That's the first thing that they want to do. And that's what they're wanting to do to us is disarm the good people. The government will protect you. Well, who's going to protect us against the government? There you go. So, yep. Kathleen, you're not the only one that's asked that. I've had a lot of, I call them .curious people, leaving comments and stuff on some of my videos, just saying, how did you get into it? And I'm like, man, I've told the story 1,000 times, but I don't think that it's anything bad to try. If you have an AR-9 or have a AR-15 or whatever, you could put a dot on it, kind of get a little, play around with it a little bit, see if it's something you're interested in, or, and I try to, I've had a lot of people reach out and just say, oh, I'm going to buy the dovetail mount where I can take off my rear sight and put the dot in the dovetail mount and then mount it on your pistol. The only thing about that is it's going to raise the dot up higher. So it's going to seem weird. Also, when you shoot it, they don't recoil well because the plate sits in there and it just kind of bounces back and forth. So you can just watch the dot bounce, and it turns some people off to it. And some of those little red dot things that go in the sights, the rear sight, is some of them are like $75. Hell, you can get a gun milled for $150. So you're kind of halfway already there, and it's going to be way down. It's going to be better. It's going to, you're probably going to be more comfortable with it. And then if for some reason you don't like it, you can take it off, and it's not going to hurt anything or disrupt it. For just leaving it open. So, hello, Gregory. How are you? Let's see here. Hello, MDpolo. Yeah, and Milkman, that is a valid point. I was talking to a buddy of mine about this the other day. The ammo prices are coming down. All it's going to take is for, Potato Head to open up his mouth about something stupid again, and everybody's going to run out and buy all the ammo, just like toilet paper and shit. So be prepared for that. If you don't need it and you've got tons of it, I just say plan accordingly. If you need it, get it. If you don't, wait. I would never tell anybody you got to go get it right now. Guy comment, are you concerned with condensation getting on your optic when changed from hot to cold or vice versa environments, like walking out of a cold movie theater into the heat of the day? Here's the way I look at it, and this is going to vary, okay? And I've had this happen. I was at a match. It was freaking cold as hell outside, and I took my gun from inside the truck, and I put my belt on, my outside, race belt thing, put it in my holster. So the gun was still warm from my body or from being in the truck, I guess. And I put it in the holster, which it was cold outside, and I noticed it. However, I carry appendix, so my body is warm. If I had to take care of business, this is the way I look at it. If I had to take care of business, my optic and my body is warm, so it's against my body. I take it out, do that. I mean, you're talking seconds. Yes, it could change, but I've, kind of dry fired that way. Even when it was cold outside, I've gone out in the backyard and done it, with dry firing. And I've drawn it and went like that to dry fire and didn't have any issues with it happening instantly or anything like that. If you just hold your gun out there for a while, you can see a little bit of it. However, it doesn't completely, I have never had it completely condensation up to where I couldn't see through it. I can still see the dot. I can still see my target. On my back fence, I've got a little cardboard USPSA target, and I'll go out there and play around with it every once in a while. But I personally haven't had that problem. Not saying it couldn't happen, but it's just something that you'll have to work with. That's nothing that I would be concerned with, honestly. I just haven't seen it yet. Now flip that whole thing. Could that happen with an AR? Could that happen with, something else that you were using? Like a police officer, if he had to do that situation with an AR, could he have that happen? Maybe so. And I don't know, I'm not, one of the military tactical type guys, so I really don't know about different environments like that. So I can only give my, firsthand knowledge that I've experienced. I'm not a tactical guy, never been in the military, any of that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Gregory is asking, what mount will work for the 407 XC2 on a Staccato P model? I don't know. The C2 Duo that I have, it has different plates. Like it's a direct mount for a Delta Point Pro, or it will fit like a full size RMR or Hollow Sun, something to that effect, SRO. I really personally don't really mess with the small micro dots like the 407 and the 507, the little small ones. I don't really have any experience with those. I prefer the larger dots. If it hangs over the side, I don't give two shits. Doesn't matter to me. So that's just my opinion. But I know that there's plates made for them. I forget the name of that company. I know that people make plates for those if you're interested in those. CZ Shadow 2 is saying, oh no, a 407C failed. I just ordered one. Wow. Yeah, and I have the, what is that one, 508T, and I did a video on it when I picked it out at the store. Now this was during COVID, I'm sorry, it was during that. And I don't know about their quality or whatever, but I found some with glue around them and things like that. So I picked the best one, and they didn't kind of paint the inside of it or anodize it very well. I've got a video on it if you want to check it out. So I don't know if quality control has dropped. However, I did see a Trijicon RMR at TGE like a week ago, and that thing looked like a 4-year-old put it together. It was completely jacked up, brand new in the box. And I was like, that's a Trijicon RMR. And it wasn't the SRO, it was the RMR, and it looked like dog crap. So I don't know if they're just trying to pump a lot of this stuff out and their quality control on different items are just kind of slipping a little bit, but you know, that could be. So if you're able to look at it in the store, you know, I would definitely recommend that. If not, I would order from someone that definitely offers returns, you know, maybe like Brownells and Euro Optic and things like that. But of course, you can also get with the manufacturer, whether it be Trijicon or whomever, and I'm sure they're going to make it right for you. Okay, Milkman is asking, if someone had 1,000 rounds of 9mm, would you call that well stocked? What number do you consider well stocked? Milkman, for someone that doesn't shoot a whole lot, that could be 1,000 rounds. Now, if it's like 1,000 rounds of full metal jacket only, I would say definitely load up on some hollow points too. 1,000 rounds to me is not well stocked. You know, I've shot 1,000 rounds of 9mm in a weekend. So back in the hardcore shooting days, I was shooting about 1,500 rounds, 15 to 1,800 rounds a month. But that was a lot of shooting, sometimes a little more. But you know, most people don't ever shoot like that. So I would say, yeah, just be aware of, you know, keep up with your ammo. Like if you go shoot, you know, just be aware of it. What you might want to do is kind of separate, like, I will not shoot 500 rounds of this, and here's the 500 rounds that I have to shoot. And then, you know, just deal off of that. Because if something gets really bad, ammo is going to go up like we've been through before. I've tried to preach this to everybody. Even if you can't afford to buy 1,000 rounds right now, buy a couple of boxes a week or a couple of boxes a payday and just kind of try to load up that way. And then maybe keep your 1,000 rounds stashed, and the stuff that you buy now, that's what you practice with. You know, I would definitely want way more than 1,000 rounds. I won't tell you what I have because it's nobody's business, but I would definitely need more than that. Yes, Guy Comet. I heard 300 rounds per gun in case. Yeah. I've even said this: if I have to arm friends and family, like close friends and family, that is another reason that I have surplus ammo. So. Gunny saying 10,000 rounds. Let's see, 10,000 rounds, please come over. No, I'm sorry. CZ Superfan, the 407C, you had some XC whatever. The 407K and the 507K are the smaller ones. The 407C and the 507C are the larger ones. That's the RMR footprint, the full-size RMR. Oh yeah, I mean, if whatever you feel comfortable stocking back, you know, and also whatever your dominant caliber is. You know, a lot of people think I'm only going to stock 9mm. That's all I'm going to stock. But if you have ARs and you have shotguns, you've got to consider that ammo too, because you know, and a lot of people will say this, and I tend to agree with it. A pistol is going to get you to the rifle, and I'm not a military guy or anything like that, but you know, you're going to have more points of contact, things like that. You can sling a rifle around you or a PDW if something went, you know, crazy, and you've got larger capacity, for the most part, in a free state, and a rifle is going to get you, you know, further hits than a pistol will, accurate hits. So I would say definitely, you know, load up on your 5.56, 300 blackout, whatever it might be, 7.62 by 39, 308. So you have that, and you know, have your pistol ammo too of your choice, and mags. I preach this and preach this. I know people who have all of these guns, and they've got 2 mags or whatever the gun came with. The first thing to fail on a pistol usually is your damn mag. So load up on mags. In the Mag Shack, you know, they do good stuff. They have pretty good deals, but definitely get load up on some mags. People always forget about magazines. Hey, what's up, Tactical Firearms? I'm sorry I missed you, man. All right, let's catch up here real quick. Mike, apparently you don't follow me. Yes, I put up a listing. I actually went in and played with it, put it in my hand. TGE had 5 of them in stock. I put it up on the community post, and I have played around with it. It is very top heavy. Now, of course, in the store, I didn't load the mag. So when you load a mag, it's going to be equal. But without the magazine in it, the gun is very top heavy, not tall. It's just top heavy because it's a bigger barrel, you know, it's a wider slide, things like that. But it's nice. It is nice. I will say this: the trigger, and I've got 2 P10Cs and I've got 1 P10F. The trigger in the P1045, just dry firing it in the store, it's not as crisp, or I guess I should say crisp. It's not as smooth as my original P10Cs and my P10F. But it probably will get that way after it's broken in. This was a brand spanking new gun. Not that it was bad. It was a little gritty, and but I think that would probably clean up with shooting it. 22 for hunting. Yeah, exactly. People, you know, they don't think about all the different calibers. Because hell, if you had to, like, you know, crap hit the fan and you had to hunt for your food and, you know, you needed to hunt a rabbit, you're not going to shoot a rabbit with a 308. There won't be any rabbit left. So, what ahead? Hello, Lou. How are you? Hello, IBG. Yes, that is actually my 590A1. Y'all know that I love orange. I did that a long time ago. I still have it that way. I did order the Magpul orange furniture for it. Matter of fact, it's really hard to get. I don't even know if they make it anymore. I did that about, gosh, 2 years ago, and I do really love that gun. 590A1 is my favorite tactical shotgun, and I am not a pistol grip guy. I know a lot of people love pistol grips on shotguns. I cannot stand them. That's just a personal opinion. If you've got it on yours and you love it, that's cool. I'm just giving you my opinion. I hate pistol grips on shotguns. Can't stand them. Oh, Pistol Pete's throwing out my line. Yes, 230 grains of hate will make it top heavy. You should get one, Big Johnson. Well, it's not optic ready. You know, they don't offer an OR version. And you'll notice in that post, I put non-OR, means non-optic ready. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to come out with one, but right now it's not optic ready. I could have it milled, but man, I got a lot of 45s, and to be honest with you, I mean, I think it's going to be a great gun. I'm not crazy about the stock sights on it. They're just the plain metal 3-dot sights, nothing special, but you could change those. But I've got a lot of 45s that I really, really enjoy. So it's like I would buy another, you know, buy that P10 F45 or whatever, and it would probably sit there. I'm just being honest with you. Or I'd go shoot it and then, you know. Golly, these things are flying by. $50 people and 22 thumbs up. What? Hey, Dan O'Neill, how are you, man? Yeah, I'm a big believer in multiple mags. You know, I know some people that say, you know, 4 mags per gun. That's not my philosophy. I usually get between, I'm talking pistols, AR mags. I've got tons of them. 308 mags. I've got tons of them. But pistol mags, I usually get about 8 to 10. Now Glock mags, I have a ton of Glock mags, and I only have 2 Glocks. But my AR9 takes Glock mags. But I'm a big believer in mags because you're not going to have, especially with a Glock mag, you're not going to be able to take that thing apart quickly unless you have a base plate, like a quick release base plate on it, like a Dawson Precision base plate or something, Terran Tactical base plate. You're not going to be able to take a factory mag apart and clean all the crap out of it. Not that they fail often, because they don't. I'll be honest with you. I've had Glock mags that I've purposely not ever taken apart, and I've got a P on them for practice, and they are factory Glock mags. They look like they have slime in them, and the damn things still run. I don't clean those on purpose. They've got a P on them. They're practice mags. Let's see here. Big Johnson Guns and Gear, or MDpolos. Big Johnson Guns and Gear. Literally, I just got an email from Hollow Sun informing me that my 407C was on the way back from warranty repair. Oh, cool. Hopefully they got it all fixed up. I can't remember what you said was wrong with it. Kyle Blackwater is saying TS2 is his next buy. Cool. Hello, Lynn Holt. Yeah, and then I wanted to ask y'all this. Oh, and I don't know if y'all saw, did you see the new Smith & Wesson M&P Bullpup shotgun? It's got like the front little, it's got a little grip on it, like a vertical grip, and you can rack it. I think it holds 14 rounds of 2 3/4 shells. Of course, it would hold less with 3-inch magnums. It's an 18-inch barrel, but it's a bullpup. And I think they're retailing for like $1,100. I haven't seen one in person yet, but I did get the email from Smith & Wesson saying they're out. And if I remember right, I think TFB has already played with one. They look pretty cool, and they're not all polymer. They're actually aluminum and steel, so they're pretty damn heavy duty looking. But oh, the dot would just disappear on you. That's not good. Hopefully they got you squared away. But anyway, I didn't know if anybody was interested in the new Smith & Wesson M&P Bullpup 12 gauge. Yeah, and Keenan, on the 45, I was just saying it's top heavy until you put ammo in it. You put 13 rounds, or even one in the chamber, 14 rounds of 45, it's going to be heavy in the grip. So that's not going to be any issues. Kathleen is taking Shadow 2 donations. Hello, Wheel and Weld Arm. How are you, man? Yeah, I mean, I think the P10 45 would be a great shooter. I love the grip on it. It's got the good long grip on it, like the P10F. So if you've got large hands, you're not going to have an issue with it. And it's got the same, molded stippling, or whatever you want to say, aggressive, that the P10C and the P10F have. Guy Comet is saying, anyone excited about the new gun Kimber is releasing tonight or tomorrow? I'm guessing it's a P365 competitor. I'm honestly not. I'll see what it is, but I'm not excited about it. That's the thing. It's just, there's not, unless it's completely revolutionary. And then of course that's going to have to be proven, but there's just nothing out there that's just really, really exciting me right now. Ooh. All right, P320 or CZ P10F? For me, CZ P10F all day, every day, without hesitation. Without hesitation. Yes, the CZ97 is an awesome shooter. That is one accurate 45. I really do love mine. And y'all, or maybe you don't know the story, I actually took it and tried to have it milled for a dot. And the way that the slide is made, and it's kind of got, the little roundedness on it, they could not mill it. There's not enough meat there to actually get screws to hold. So even to mill for a plate, it's going to be super difficult because there's just not enough substance there. So I couldn't have it milled. So that's why I didn't have it milled. But I would definitely love to have that milled. And it only holds 10 rounds, 10 plus one in the pipe. But I believe you can get tanfolio extensions, and I've heard that they work, but I'm not 100% positive on that. I've just heard that they work, but I don't know which tanfo ones do. Hello, Bald and Curious. How are you, man? Ooh, that would be cool. I wish Smith and Wesson would release a 4th gen with the 59, 69, 39 XX series. That would be cool. I love my Smith and Wesson 439. That thing shoots. I mean, it's amazing how great the trigger is. I mean, it's double action, single action, but it's really amazing how great that trigger is. And it was actually manufactured in 1986. That was the very first gun I ever shot, or that's the very first gun that I officially owned, and I still have it to this day. What's up, Midas? How are you, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope everything's going well. TTO Clarke, what is the verdict on the Walther PDP? For me personally, and I've said this before, PDP is not for me. I mean, is it better than the PPQ? I do like one thing about it. The thing that I hated about my PPQ is the grip was too short. You know, it was a 15 round grip, which my hands are too big for. So I do like having the 17 round where they finally did that on the PDP, you know, kind of like a 19X. You got the 4-inch slide, you got the longer grip. I think that was a really good idea. I like the stippling or whatever you want to call it there. But does the gun do anything for me? Not really. Or it doesn't do anything that like a P10C or P10F. I mean, I don't think there's anything super revolutionary about that. I think Walther kind of took they kind of looked at the Beretta APX, you know, with the big aggressive, you know, notches in the slide, and they were like, hey, that's kind of cool, but nobody's buying them. So let's do this, and let's add a little bit of look like that to ours and make it optic ready. So if you're wanting an optic ready gun out of the box, the prices are coming down on the PDP. I've been seeing them for like, I saw one the other day for like $525. So they're definitely coming down. But is it something that's revolutionary that, you know, saves the day? Not for me. But if you have it and that's what you like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm still not completely sold on the way that you attach the optic. There's just no, you know, there's no bosses for your optic to snap into. There's no cutouts where your plate actually snaps down into it to kind of lock it. They're just kind of holding everything on the screws. I don't really like that. I'm not saying I could make it fail or somebody could make it fail, but I just don't believe in putting, you know, something that's reciprocating back and forth and just depend on screws to hold it in for sheer strength. That's just not my gig, but you know. Lou is saying, Big Johnson, MDpolo, took your advice, just picked up my Staccato P 4.4. She is sweet. Awesome, man. Congratulations. Glad you like it. Mine is right there. Hello, Keith Gregory. How are you, man? Yeah, but Keenan, and since you own a PDP, I want to ask you this. Does your PDP, and I know that, I mean, we've all had that, the euphoria of getting a new gun, and, you know, you get the new gun and you go shoot it and you're like, oh my God, this thing's earth shattering. But after you shoot it for a while, or you compare it to other guns, like you'll shoot your P10C or P10F against it, or, you know, your SIG against it. Is there something that the PDP truly does better than another, you know, polymer type gun? I mean, I want your opinion on that. So answer it, you know, if you would. And it is kind of top heavy on the PPQ, I've always said that. The PDP, when I was holding it, it was kind of top heavy too. But hey, thanks, Richard. I appreciate you. Will and Wold Arm is saying he sold his PPQ Q4 this past weekend. Huh. Wonder why you sold it. If you want to let us know. Catch back up. Well, and curious, guess who's going to South Carolina to shoot Microtech ProAm 3-gun? Cool, man. Awesome. You going to pick you up some real mags when you're there, or do you have to use your 10 rounders? What's up, Red Menace? How are you, man? Okay. He's saying on the PDP, he's saying, nope, it doesn't shoot any better, just a better grip. I gotcha. Okay, cool. That's good. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We all get trapped in that euphoria of, oh my God, I bought a better gun. I mean, I've been, guilty of it too. Oh, I got this new gun. It shoots better than anything I have. Then after, the euphoria wears off, I'll really start comparing it to other guns. Now, granted, I've got a lot of time behind other guns. So once the newness wears off, I'll shoot one of my old guns better. And as I get more time behind the newer gun, I'll shoot it about equal to. But is it earth shattering? No. And that's usually what happens with most people that I've heard about. Kyle is saying, Midas, to a friend I would, but I don't have many friends either, just some. I'll look at it this way. Some friends are overrated and they should just be called acquaintances. All right. Gregory is asking, on your Staccato P model, what is your red dot and can any hill? And I don't know, I don't have a Staccato P. Mine is a C2 Duo, and I run a Trijicon SRO on mine. If you're asking me, I don't know if you happen to be asking someone else. But I've also ran a Holosun 507 on it. It ran great, never had a problem with it. But once I put the SRO on it, and I did check, it does have a little bit of overhang, but I have ran, since I put the SRO on it, hell, I've ran over 1,000, probably 1,500 rounds with the SRO. I'm sorry if you catch me kind of looking. I'm looking out this window and I'm seeing all kinds of crazy people doing stupid shit out here. But I haven't had any hangups with the overhang. That's one thing I was really concerned about. I even did a video way back when talking about it. I haven't had one issue with the overhang catching anything. And if it ever did, you could just clear it and go about your business. If it was going to be a problem, though, that's why I wanted to test it, and I didn't carry it for a long time until I knew that it was going to run well. Yeah, there are tons of choices. And that's what I've said. And when people are like, well, I'm going to buy my first gun, what do you recommend? Well, what I recommend is you to go to a range and rent a lot of pistols and really get time behind it, not just walk into it and grab a grip and go, oh my God, this is the one. I've seen so many people buy the gun that they just put their hand on and they didn't shoot it, didn't feel the recoil, didn't track it. Even if they're shooting iron sights, when you play with a gun in the store and you pull the trigger, you could be like, oh man, that trigger's real heavy. It feels weird. But however, under recoil and when you're shooting it, it could be awesome and you don't even know it. So I always recommend to either get with a buddy that might have a lot of offerings of guns where they can try it. I mean, I've had personal friends and I'm like, dude, don't buy anything. Let's just take, a handful of my guns or a couple of handfuls of guns and I'll just let you shoot all of them and see what you think. I don't say you got to buy a Glock or you got to do this or you got to do that because, I really want people to pick and have an educated opinion on what they're purchasing before they just purchase it. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you asking me, Midas, about selling ammo? I wouldn't sell ammo. Got an SRO on a Staccato P. Cool. Okay, Tech Farm, is your slide on your TSO still tight? and really tough to rack. Mine sure needs some breaking in. Yeah, they're actually on the TSOs, all of them are hand fit by CZ. So when they build them, they actually fit them to the guns. That's like if I take my TSO slide and put it on someone else's TSO lower, sometimes I have a hard time even getting the damn things on. So they match the frame with the slide on the TSOs. Now I'm not saying it's, like a billet, it's not, they just hand fit them. So if you know anything about those, they do hand fit them. So it will take a little while. All you need to do is just keep the slide, lubed, especially during your break-in. It'll naturally break in and it will get like ball bearings. I mean, mine is super slick and doesn't have any wiggle to it. I mean, it has stock wiggle. It's not like a custom 1911 or a custom 2011. But yes, it will actually wear in. You just got to shoot it. I mean, a lot, not just like, hey, I put 100 rounds through it. Turn the camera around, people watching live stream. You want me to turn the camera out there? Okay, over at that floor and decor, there were some hoodlums running up and down in the alley, and then this guy just got out of this car right here and was doing like some weird shit in the parking lot. And then there was a little motorcycle that just drove across that field right there. So, hey, it's the first time I've done that, so y'all get to see what I'm seeing. Let's see here. People watching is always a good sport. Yeah. I just wasn't shooting the PPQ. It shot nice, but sat there for 2 years. And an Army buddy was in town this past weekend. After he shot it, he really wanted it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you're really not shooting any guns, I mean, I talked about that before. If it's something that you can just go out and rebuy, and it's not like a collector piece or it's not a customized piece or something like that, why not get rid of it? Kathleen, no, I'm actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I remember you've praised the FNX 45. What other double stack 45 would you recommend? If you can find, they used to make Staccato. I think Staccato made a 45. I know Triarch makes a 45, but they're really expensive for a 2011. Man, the FNX 45 is really, really hard to beat because it is one of the highest capacity stock 45s, but it is double action, single action. I mean, you've got Nighthawk, if you want a 2011, of course, nice 1911s are really nice depending on, oh, you're wanting double stack. Man, I mean, well, Steve's saying Glock 21. I mean, it definitely, if you do like a Glock, you could do that. Yeah, Kyle is saying, why is everyone, because it won 2 world wars. No, I'm actually an old 45 guy. I really do like 45 because they don't make 46. How about that? But no, I'm a 45 guy from way back. So, I mean, you could actually go with the new P10F 45 if that's something you're interested in. I mean, there's so many different offerings out there. I don't want to say, especially if you're wanting a double stack, that's where you're just going to have to figure out what you like and go with it. Popo, don't even carry 45 much. Actually, you'd be surprised. We've got some Texas Rangers. Some of them still carry 1911s. Not everybody, but they do. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, John, is the STi double stack tactical in 45. It just depends on what you like. I know a lot of people still like 45. Now, is it the best choice? Probably not. And 9mm defensive ammo has came a long, long way. And you're going to get, deeper penetration. Now, of course, 45s leave bigger holes, but, I mean, you don't have that rip roaring. Matter of fact, this was a long time ago. I went to my uncle's farm I took a old, I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know what brand it was, but it was one of those skillets. You know, it was an old skillet we had, and some of the coating was coming off. So I was like, well, let's don't use that anymore. So I took it out and I shot it. It was a big skillet and it was thick. It was a T-foul. I remember the name. It was a T-foul. And so I took a 45, 9mm, I think a 380 and a 22, and I was shooting little quadrants, and I was only like, I don't know, 10 yards away, and strapped to the fence post. And the only thing that penetrated it, I mean, the 45 left a dent in it. You know, the 380 really didn't do shit to it. 22 didn't do shit to it. The only thing that penetrated it was a 9mm HST 124. And all of these were being shot with hollow points. And then after I penetrated it, then I shot them all with full metal jackets. So, I mean, speed kills. We know that, because if it was coming right down to it, 5.56 and 2.23 would not be my choice. It would not be my choice at all. You know, you're talking about a 22 on steroids. And I'm just giving my opinion. You know, I'm a 308 guy or 300 blackout guy. Hell, 7.62 by 39, 5.56. You know, especially when you're getting into higher grains like 223 77 grain and stuff like that. Black Hills. I mean, it's nasty. But you know, also like in a 300 blackout, you know, you can get 110 grain with a lot of speed. Subs, they're not. Even though I shoot a lot of 300 blackout and I've got subs, I still prefer supers. But I shoot a lot. I mean, I shoot a lot of 223 and 5.56, and I own a lot of it, but it's just not my preferred crap hit the fan rifle. It's just not. I might catch some heat over that, but let's see here. Yeah, MDpolo is saying the sheriff's department carry 1911s and 45. Yeah, I mean, you know, the round's been around forever. If you've got a throated and polished feed ramp, they'll feed perfectly. Some 1911s won't feed round nose or flat nose, but if you've got a good 1911, no problems. Yeah, 50 Beowulf. Yeah, I'm talking about something that if you had to carry rounds, you know, you're not going to be throwing your back out. Yeah, 50 Beowulf's no joke. Brandon, BJ or Big J, have you any experience with the SAR US CZ75 clones? If so, any thoughts? I don't have any personal experience with the SAR. I think Will and Wild Arm has some. I do have experience with some clones. I've shot the Jericho. I've shot, you know, the TriStar. I've shot the Canic. Owned a couple of those. If it was me, and this is just my honest opinion, I would get a CZ, not because I'm a CZ fanboy, but because they have a huge aftermarket support. I mean, if you want to take a CZ SP01, you can always put triggers, you can put springs, and I know that Cajun Gunworks makes a lot of stuff for those now, but the resale value is definitely not there. If you decide you don't like it and you want to get rid of it, you're not going to get shit for them. I mean, they won't give you anything for them, but a CZ always holds its value. You know, most of them will all take the same mags, but, and yes, Pistol Pete is right. You know, Tanfo does make super nice clones. I own the Tanfo Stock 2, and it is a awesome gun. It's the hard chrome, and matter of fact, hard chrome is one of my favorite finishes. I've said that numerous times. You can beat the shit out of it, and it still looks great. I still have my Stock 2. I love it. But you really can't compare a Tanfo Stock 2, or you can compare it to a CZ Shadow 2. However, it has some things that none of the other ones have. It's got the coned barrel, the coned bull barrel, which is very unique. You can put Eric Graffel tricked out trigger like I did, and the springs. And I mean, that thing is a sweet shooter. So it just depends. I would get something that has resale value in case you don't like it. The Canics and the TriStars I had, I played with them. I was thinking about, kind of like budget fixing it up, and it was a waste. So I got rid of them. I sold. I mean, they all worked reliably. Don't get me wrong, but I actually sold them to friends who really needed a gun at a economical price, and so I gave them really good deals on them. So are you saying CZ has better resale value? Yes, I am. Matter of fact, CZ and tanfo, if you're dealing with the stock 2, stock 3s, those tanfos do hold their value. When you get into the polymer tanfos, a lot of those don't hold their value. Aren't ambi, like my stock 2 is ambi, so I don't know if you have to have it ambi if you're a lefty. Tanfo does offer, the safeties and things like that, and you can switch the reversible mag release over. Buy the real deal. Kyle, and I'm not sure of your age, but when you say, man, don't sell your shit ever, there comes to a point where when you have a lot of safes, it becomes an issue. So, and, of course, at my age, I'm like, I can't carry it all with me. And of course, a lot of it will be handed down and stuff like that. But, if you just know there's like, and I've bought guns before where, you get that euphoria and you're like, oh, this is going to be great. You shoot it and you're just like, oh my God, this thing's horrible. And I won't get rid of it immediately, but I'll go shoot it, more and more and more, try to get time behind it. And then I'm like, this gun's not for me. So when I definitely know that for sure, I won't keep it. Well, that's the whole thing. When you have many guns, I mean, I only have so many family. I mean, you know what I mean? There's a difference between people who have like 5 or 6 or 10 guns, but when you have many guns, I mean, you can't, I guess you could, but yeah, I mean, there are definitely guns I will never, ever get rid of, no matter what. But I recently got rid of, I think I talked about it on the chat last week. I recently got rid of 3 guns that were sitting there, and the resale value on them was stupid. And I buy guns at the right prices. I buy them really, really good prices a lot of times. Actually, on all 3 of these guns that I sold, I made way over what I paid for them. So there you go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I just keep it, honest. I'm not going to tell you all anything I wouldn't do. Okay. Big Johnson Guns and Gear. Arex Delta M Gen 2 thoughts. I've played with it. I haven't shot it. I played with the M and the L, which is the longer grip, and I actually, the longer the L fit in my hand better. I'm not saying it's a bad gun because I've never personally shot it. The price is very reasonable on it. I just don't know about the longevity, and I haven't seen any long-term reviews on it. I've just seen people do reviews on them. Personally, I don't think that gun is going to do anything that like a P10C, P10F. I mean, that's what I've talked about before. You get into the polymer wonders, and it's like, yay, here's another polymer wonder. You're putting lipstick on a pig. You're just putting some, front serrations on it, or you're doing something else to it. It does offer an optic cut from the factory, so that's a good thing. But before I bought that gun that's not proven, and everybody knows this about me, I hope, I'm not the budget guy. I don't go and seek budget guns because I know that would not be a gun that I would depend on personally. I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. It's just, I've had a lot of budget guns in the past that have been budget paperweights. So I'm not the guy that just runs out and buys every budget gun in the world. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I just personally haven't had good luck with the ones that I've played with in the past. Sure, they came a long way since, but it didn't, MDpolo, I guess to answer your question, it didn't super excite me. I think for the offering that everything comes on the gun, I think it's a good offering. I can't remember. I don't think it takes Glock mags. I think it has a proprietary mag, which would concern me if you had to get a bunch of them. But, you know, it just didn't do anything for me personally. But that doesn't mean anything that it's not going to do something for someone else. There's a lot of guns that I completely dislike that other people love. And then there's guns that I like that people probably don't give two shits about. Hey, what's up, Isher6? How are you, man? Do you have duplicates? Same guns exactly. Yes, I have many duplicates. I've got two P10Cs, or excuse me, two P10Cs and one P10F. I've got two P07s, two P09s. The guns that I really love, I actually do believe in getting duplicates of them, because if one gun goes down, you've got the other one and you're very familiar with it. Even shotguns, I've got two of the exact same shotgun, or actually two of the exact same shotguns and then two of the exact other shotguns. I do not have another C2. I've actually been thinking about getting another C2 just to have it. Because what you could do is you could actually, and I've done this before, you could actually use one, like for example, P10C for your range gun, and then one for a carry gun, just so you don't put so many rounds through it, you know, to where you're going to potentially mess it up. You know, way back in the day, I ran the dog shit out of some Glocks. I ran the dog shit out of some Smith & Wessons. And, you know, I know they make them better, but I've pretty much trashed some guns just from shooting them a lot. But that was a long time ago, so I'm sure they're a lot better than they are now. Would you care to disclose what guns are those to see if I have any I should sell? Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you. I sold, one of them was a CZ Scorpion, not a micro. It was another one. CZ Scorpion, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I think if you're getting into PCC 9mm, and trust me, the CZ Scorpion runs like a scalded ape. You cannot, I mean, I never, ever had one failure in that. But when you go to an AR9 type setup, on a CZ Scorpion, it has the big block in it, the big bolt. So when it slams back, you do feel a lot of recoil. Once you get used to an AR9, it's 1,000 times different. It's smoother. And of course, if you get used to an MP5 with a roller delay, that really helps a lot too, but I'm not an MP5 fan. But I sold the Scorpion. I sold, I won't say the pistols. I actually sold two pistols, but I could go buy those tomorrow. I just never shot them. Hell, one of the pistols I hadn't even shot in three or 4 years. And then I shot a rifle, which I'll just say this. I won't say what it is, but they have an importation ban on them. I made 3 times what I paid for it. So y'all can guess. You could probably look through my library and guess what that one was. Yeah, and you know, Kyle, a lot of the PCCs are blowback. I mean, they are, but with that large bolt, like if you ever shoot a B&T, and of course you're going to pay, you know, $3,000 for them, but if you ever shoot a B&T, you know, they've got the buffer spring, or they got a spring in them, which delays the bolt from coming back and slamming. They're just much smoother. I saw Work the Triggers review he did. Not sure about it. LZ, I really like the P10C factory trigger. It does give me some trigger bite though. Maybe I'll try the HBI trigger. Yeah, just so y'all know that Apex has the P10C triggers available, which goes in the F also. There's a reason I do not have the Apex trigger as of yet, and the reason is I don't want a black one. So they've got the black ones available. The red ones are out with they're getting them anodized. So as soon as those red ones come in, I'll have some of those to put in mine and test them and see what I think about them personally. So I just don't have them yet. So I'll be getting them, but ooh, what is your favorite lever action rifle? Probably. I mean, I really like the 3030. Great lever action rifle. Marlins are good. The old Marlins were better than the newer Marlins. Not saying anything's wrong with them, but they were just smoother. You know, I think they were made a little better. But I really like 3030. 30-06 is a good one. You can actually find, I can't remember who makes them. Somebody makes them in 9mm now, or maybe it's a conversion, but I love the 357-38 one. That one's really cool. Much more fun if you have a threaded barrel on one, so you can suppress it. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't a 9mm. It was a 308. Yes, it's a lever action 308. And I was like, damn it, I want one of those. I think it would be awesome. But I just never bought one. I just don't really shoot a lot of lever guns anymore. It's kind of like revolvers. There is absolutely nothing wrong with them. I just really, when I go shoot, I just don't have time to shoot everything. Actually, the Apex has more of a rolling brake. That's if you do all three parts. If you do the trigger, the back plate, and you do the sear, you'll have the rolling brake. If you don't do the sear portion, you will not have a rolling brake. But actually, I have one of my Shadow 2s has a rolling brake in it. I actually really like it. And if you really think about it, if you're shooting properly and you're not riding the reset, honestly, who really cares about a wall? I mean, like you're gonna come to it, but if you're shooting fast, you're never really gonna ride a wall. You're never really gonna rolling brake. If you're shooting USPSA or shooting super fast, some of the guys trigger slap. If you're just prepping your shot for like bullseye shooting, then yeah, you might want a wall. But most people, I mean, you could point that out in a video and you could say, oh, it loses its wall or it has a rolling brake. But really, when you're shooting it and you're shooting rapid, you're not going to notice it either way, honestly. So I know people might disagree with me. Ooh, golly. Wow. What is the most you have paid for a gun and what was it? Damn. Probably a Les Bear. This was a custom Les Bear. I bought it in the 90s. I ordered it, had it built for me. It came in a custom walnut box. This is when Les Bear was making everything in house. I think I paid 61 or $6,200 for it. I think. I think it was 61 or $6,200 for it. It was special. It had like a special serial number. It had all this other stuff on it, but and I actually carried that gun too. It was a great gun. Ed Brown was expensive too. I don't think it was that much though, but I've paid some expensive prices for rifles too. The crazy thing is when you get a really nice rifle and you get a really nice scope, by the time you look at your rifle and you look at your scope, like the Lancer 308 that I have, and actually I bought that one from X-Ring, 308 rifle, and I've got the Vortex AMG HD on it. It's like a $3,200 scope. That rifle ain't cheap. I mean, the way it's set up. But yeah, I mean, you can spend some money on guns. Yeah, man, that Alien, I know it was a limited production, but I figured, a lot of people would have them and stuff like that. I mean, a good friend of mine actually bought one. And right when he received it, he sold it for 10 grand. So he shot it. I think he put 2 mags through it and he liked it. He didn't say that it was a bad gun, but he had the opportunity to sell it. So he dumped it. Yes. Like I said at the first of the chat, do not forget to leave your ATF comments for receivers and go ahead and leave comments also for the braces. Yeah, we have to fight for our rights, but yet other people just give guns to our enemies, but that's okay. I honestly, in the Strybog, I mean, if they ever get that figured out, it might be great, but that one really doesn't, I don't really have a lot of interest in that one personally. They've had a lot of problems with those things. So I've never really gotten completely pumped up over them. I've seen them. I actually could have shot one time. A guy at the range I let him shoot one of my guns because he really wanted to. And he's like, hey, I got a Strybog over here if you want to shoot it. And I was like, oh, no, that's cool. I appreciate it. Kathleen is saying, do you ever shoot the 22 LR slide on the PO or on the PO9? Do I ever put my 22 LR? I did it. The last time I shot it was probably, I don't know, 8 months ago or something. I even did a video on it 8 or 9 months ago. I mean, it's great. It shoots great. I really do like it. The only thing I don't like about it is it has target sights, so it's just got the blacked out sights. And you can get, it's really weird on that thing. It takes like a shadow to rear and then some other front, but you can get them through Dawson Precision, but I just haven't done it. And I really wish I could put an optic on it. Golly, somebody's racing out there. I don't know if y'all heard that. 2 cars were just getting it right here on the straightaway. Yeah, Keith, I've talked about it before. The NRA show, I am not going to. I could, and I don't even have to join the NRA to go. I could go with the manufacturer out there. I have chosen not to go to the NRA show. I have been invited to the Primary Arms shoot, and I think it is the day before the NRA show. Yeah, it's on a Thursday. I haven't confirmed if I'm going to go or not yet. But I have been invited to that, so I could go out there, and they have some little competitions and some cool stuff for us to see and all of that. I think it'd be fun to go to it, but I just haven't decided if I'm going to go all the way to Houston just for that. That's funny. Pistol Pete saying the most expensive pistol I ever bought was a Glock, and it was too nice to even touch. I sold it unfired. Yeah, and it probably, what was it, a Gen 1 or something? I've seen some people have some Gen 1s go for some pretty crazy prices. Azure 6 will be there for, I guess he's going to the NRA show for maybe Microtech or somebody. That's cool. All right. Yeah, I know, Lynn. Trust me, I've been very, very fumed about that. So that's why I haven't really brought it up a lot tonight, because it would completely get me pissed off about the lack of leadership that we have going on. I even told a buddy of mine that I'm going to try to keep it PG this evening. So, yeah, Pistol Pete, I completely agree with you. Hey, James Johnson, better late than never in the house. Good deal. But yeah, see if there's anything I forgot. Oh, I did have one question for everybody. With all the new gun owners, even people that aren't super familiar, do you recommend a training class, like for new shooters or avid shooters, to go to a training class and kind of try to become proficient? Or would you recommend them get with a good friend who is, very knowledgeable about guns and do it that way? Or do you just recommend them to go out and try everything on their own? So that was kind of my question that I had for y'all, and I'm sorry I waited so long to bring it up, but I did have that written down. So do you recommend people go to a training class or a lesson from a trainer, or just go with a buddy and learn, or just kind of try it all on their own? I was just curious what y'all thought about that. Yep, Kyle, I actually did a video on it. So, are there a lot of collectors that are, what is she saying? Are they a lot collectors that are not really shooters? Yeah, I mean, I know people that really don't shoot very much at all, and they have a lot of guns. So, I mean, all that equipment, training class. Appleseed courses are A1 for new shooters. Yep, I have heard of those. Training class, formal safety training, training class. Some folks are clueless. Training class for most. New shooters, NRA certified instructors. I'm so old, I learned on my own. Training class. I think if you have a good trainer, it might be better. And the reason I'm bringing this up, is Texas. We're about to have the constitutional carry, and there's going to be a lot of people grabbing guns and stuffing them down their pants and all this other crap. But a lot of people really aren't proficient with shooters. I know some people don't even really know how to load mags. And, I was talking to one of the instructors at TGE, and she's actually really nice, and I've watched her shoot. She's actually a very good shooter. And hell, you've probably heard her on my videos. She'll be in there training someone while I'm shooting. And seems like a very competent and good trainer, and everybody seems to come back to her. But we were talking about the constitutional carry, and just because you can carry a gun might not mean that you should, until you are proficient and you're well versed in it. And you know how to load it, you know how to clean it, you know how to take it apart. I mean, just some basic stuff. Because just handing someone a gun and saying, "Hey, put this in your holster and carry it on you," I mean, they could pull it out and try to shoot the bad guy and shoot someone else. I'm not saying that even proficient shooters that couldn't happen if something was really crazy. But I think they should seek out some sort of training, or maybe work with a friend of theirs that's very, very proficient. And I'm not saying I'm a trainer, don't get me wrong, but I've had a lot of friends and acquaintances that I've brought into the firearm world, and let them kind of go with them and let them shoot some of my guns and kind of help them with their grip. Not that I'm a trainer, never claimed to be, but I think that that's really good if you can get someone like that to help you, or even take a training class, just so you're not kind of treading water out there by yourself. Yes, I do agree with that, C Kim. Yeah, don't go to Walmart and buy you an Uncle Mike's nylon piece of shit, and expect that that's going to hold your gun correctly. Don't use a thin dress belt for the holster with a weighted gun. I mean, seek advice, and that's why I'm saying, if you maybe get with a certified trainer or someone who can really help you to give you good, knowledgeable advice to get you squared away from the get go, you're not going to have to buy a bunch of crap and then go, "Oh, this is literally a bunch of shit that I just wasted money on." Kind of buy once, cry once. I'm a big believer in that. Um, Yeah, depends on a friend. I'm probably better than most trainers around here. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you've got a competent person that really knows what they're doing, and I mean, even the people that I've helped, I always preach the safety. The 4 safety rules: keep the gun. Don't point it at what you don't want to shoot. But things like that, because you just, you know, you don't want just another Yahoo teaching a Yahoo. And I've seen that shit before. Can't even hit the broadside of a barn. You don't want to deal with that kind of crap. You mean you're not to stuff your gun down your pants? Well, I mean, that's where I carry mine. But Yes, yes, Lynn, you're exactly right. And just because you take a CCW class does not mean you've had training. Freaking Ray Charles could pass that class. It's not difficult. I mean, well, put it this way. And I actually saw a girl fail it one time and had to go back and retake it. And it wasn't the written part; it was actually the shooting part. Didn't know how to load a magazine and failed, and shot really poorly and stuff like that. So always, learn everything you can. And that's the thing also, even about YouTube. I'm not saying everyone on YouTube is a freaking trainer, because they're not, but that's going to give you some fundamentals to maybe try on your own. Just be curious, ask questions, seek training. People, and hell, even if you go into a range and you're inquisitive, if you see someone there that's shooting really well, um, you know hell, I've helped people that I don't even know before. I mean, we all want to make everyone a better shooter and to stay on our side. We don't want them scared of guns, because that's an advocate for us. So we need as many as we can get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be, unless there's any major questions that anybody could think of super quick, but we're going to be shutting this thing down. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. It really means a lot. Hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. And that officer shooting SIG. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Floridian. I appreciate it, man. Two Wheeling Nut is saying, my fear is all these new gun owners haven't put in the time behind the trigger due to the cost of ammo. I've told people the gun is the cheapest part. Yeah. And that's another thing we've talked about in the past. A lot of people buying all these guns and they just load them up with ammo. They haven't even shot it. They don't even know if it's going to run, and they stuff it in a drawer. Even for just home defense, take your gun out, test it, make sure it's going to work properly. Learn about your gun. Don't just, it's not a damn paperweight. Spend some time with it. Keith is saying, first time I shot a gun was in boot camp. They were very strict. Yeah. All right. What makes, okay. Hey, Kathleen. What makes you so sexy? I didn't know that I was sexy, but I appreciate that. Kyle didn't tell me I was sexy. Yeah, everyone be safe out there. Have a great night. Tell your, friends and family you love them. That's what it's all about, man. IBG is saying, whoops. IBG is saying, I've learned so much from watching YouTube. Lucas Botkin, John Lovell, Honest Outlaw, Three Guys Chat. Hey, thanks, IBG. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you find something you're interested in, study up on it. Watch some videos, even on a particular gun. And don't take one person's opinion. My opinion might be I don't like it. Do your research. Please do your research. Redbird, I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to shut this down. I appreciate y'all so much. Have a great night. Be safe out there. Love one another, and try to not watch the news, because all it does is make you mad. And remember, we have, our constitutional rights. We have our Bill of Rights. We have all of these things. So make your proper choices and do what you need to do. So there you go. I'm going to leave it at that. Everyone have a great night. Thank you so much. And carry on, everyone. Take care.